Happy Wednesday, everybody. We have 48 hours left in this year that was 2020, and we're going to break it down with some tech news because there's still more stuff going on, believe it or not, in the tech world, including Epic Games fixing the CPU bug that we talked about yesterday. Apparently, 500,000 GPUs have been found, and we'll talk about that, and Elden Ring news, in case that excites you at all. We'll get into that after we talk about today's episode sponsor, Chirp. Now, my friends, I take my health very seriously, especially with 3 kids. I want to make sure that I'm there for the long term, and that's why I choose to prioritize myself, which is where stretching comes into play. And Chirp is the wheel that you should check out to help stretch your back. The Chirp wheel has actually been amazing for both me and my wife to use it to stretch out our backs in ways that we have never felt before. It has a unique 4-way stretch with the spinal canal in the middle of the wheel that stretches the muscles around the spine both in length and width for the deepest stretch possible. You have 3 different sizes of the Chirp wheel, and the fact that it can hold up to 500 pounds is such a good benefit. It's as simple as laying your back on the wheel and rolling, but it provides such good relief that I really enjoy using it. And plus, now it's the only wheel on the market that's FDA registered as a Class 1 medical device, and it's FSA and HSA approved in case you want to purchase with that. So you can actually buy it as a medical device for stretching in case you're interested in that. We'll leave a link for the Chirp wheel in the video description, but suffice it to say, it has made my back feel a lot better, whether it's after workouts, wrestling with my kids. If my back's feeling sore, I whip that thing out and I give myself a good stretch. You can too now. And now let's stretch on over to the news, which is Epic Games Launcher is saying that they're going to be fixing the bug that happened with the AMD Ryzen CPUs. They've fully acknowledged it to the public, and it will be coming as soon as they can get it done. So just as an update from yesterday, don't necessarily worry about your CPUs overheating right in the future, because it'll be fixed. And it looks like our woes of not having enough GPUs have been fixed, because according to this report, there has been a container with 500,000 RTX 3080s found. You can see this full container right here. And according to this report, it says that Jeff Fisher, the vice president of Nvidia, said, "We've been asking Samsung for this shipment for months. They told us that they had already left the factory, but then they did not provide us with any document proving that they had reached the destination. However, upon any investigation, in case you're seeing this across social media, this is part of Spanish Fool's Day, which takes place on December 28th, because the website that initially published this owned up to it, essentially saying this is a giant April Fool's Day joke, including the fact that things like Samsung doesn't ship completed cards to Nvidia. They make other stuff. They don't make all of it, so why would they? They don't have the cool. It's not how this works. The source that reported this has admitted that it's a giant bamboozle. So no 500,000 GPUs have been found. There's no savior of your ability to go and purchase one. You're still gonna have to wait like everybody else. And that would have been like the most absurd thing. Like, Nvidia just was supposed to receive a shipment a while ago and they just never let anybody know about it. That seems like something that they would have reported, like, hey, a shipping container got lost at sea, we're working on fixing it, there's not much we could do about it. That would have gone so much in the way of PR if they had ever said that. But I mean, it was just kind of fishy to begin with, and it's not real. So there you go. What appears to be real, though, is ASUS confirming a 3080 Ti with 20 gigabytes of VRAM, as well as an RTX 3060 with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. You can see here on the product support page mentioning the GPUs that have not yet been announced by Nvidia, in case you care about that at all. In case you're still looking for an RTX 30 card and you want to get your weeboo side out, well, the Yeston RTX 3070 waifu card is now been announced, in case that matters to you. And in case Elden Ring matters to you, the game that didn't really get mentioned at all in 2020 is essentially George R.R. Martin's last fleeting project, when he's never even going to try to finish Winds of Winter. So this is probably the last thing we're going to get from the guy. It's allegedly, according to rumors out there, in polishing phases. This is according to somebody talking on their blog, which is about the state of Elden Ring news at this point. So there you go. And in just as similar of sketchy source fashion, apparently, allegedly, according to rumors out on the internet, Elder Scrolls TV series is in the work from Netflix. This is apparently supposed to be on the scale of the Witcher Netflix series that has come out. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Just we'll see if that ever happens. What's not going to happen is a Japanese tour company is still going to be able to use Mario as their little mascot driving around the streets of Tokyo, because Nintendo's court victory over Mario Kart, which was their original name, now they're known as Streetcar, has lost the lawsuit, and they have to pay Nintendo $483,000 for violating its IP rights. Do not piss off Nintendo. I learned this firsthand on the UFD Tech channel, where they took our channel down for an entire week because we made a video showing how you could put Android on the Nintendo Switch. We got taken down, and it was a bad week for all of us. But you know who lost a lawsuit? Apple did, on a copyright lawsuit against an iOS virtualization company known as Corellium. This is according to the judge, who said that Corellium did establish fair use for using Apple's code, and it was totally fine. The judge also stating that certain arguments Apple was making was not in good faith, like the fact that, oh, now hackers might be able to hack into our iPhones a little bit better using this tool. The judge was just like, what? You serious? You serious, mate? Now, sticking on the phone side of things, in case you hate camera notches when it comes to mobile devices, well, Samsung doesn't give a freaking rip, and they're just going to make it even more prominent. This is with leaks that are coming out of the Galaxy S21 and S21 Plus. You can see here that they're just going to make it a different color so that it stands out all the more. You don't like the camera notch? You should have thought about that before you survived 2020, my friends. Don't forget to get your I Survived 2020 mug down below in the video description. There's nothing in here, but I survived 2020. Hopefully. I got less than 48 hours, friends. But then on top of that, Samsung actually started opening reservations for the S21. In case you want to get in on that, reserve a pre-order for a device that has not been announced or tested as of yet, from the company who made a phone that exploded and got banned from airplanes. Has Cyberpunk taught us nothing? Speaking of a long wait for a device, sort of, like that's a tangent segue. Anyways, the Elgato Wave 1 is finally getting reviewed. This got announced at the same time as the Wave 3, which debuted earlier in this year, which got rave reviews. But then I saw no mention of like, when is this thing ever going to come out? Well, it's now being reviewed, and according to the Tech Power Up review, it's an editor's choice. It's something that's absolutely worth buying, which makes sense because the Wave 3 is actually quite good. But just in case you're following along with the Wave 1 news, it's getting reviewed, might hit retail at some point, might also sell out very quickly like the Wave 3 did. And this is going to sell out to me because Gigabyte announced its Aorus C700 glass full tower chassis. I actually really enjoy the look of this. There's something Alienware late 2000s about it to me, which I can't help but be a sucker for it. I think it's that nostalgia, but it's Gigabyte producing something that I want to spend my money on. And you might want to spend your money on a brand new TV because LG is going to be announcing its 8K QNED lineup at CES 2021 virtually. Of course, QNED, why is that the name? I hate that so much, is essentially their mini LED technology, which is going to have thousands of backlights to make it so that you can have the best image possible, but not have the price of OLED. You can see here that they're planning on putting in around 28,000 LEDs to provide multi-channel dimming, create everything to look good. Are they just trying to confuse us? Because like Samsung has QLED. I don't like this. Stupid sexy Flanders.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Stupid sexy Flanders.
And nothing at all is what is to be seen in the Brexit deal that's being negotiated. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but let's get into the technology side of it, because in the Brexit document that has been submitted and people can review, there is mention of Netscape Communicator and Mozilla Mail. The text says modern email software packages including Outlook, Mozilla Mail, as well as Netscape Communicator 4.x. Netscape Communicator went out of business in 1997. This is what it looked like. Netscape, what? This is awful. On top of that, they also mention that the hash algorithm SHA-1 shall be applied for all encryption methods. Number one, SHA-1 can be hacked pretty easily at this point, and there's been, I'm pretty sure, 255 other versions of SHA. Okay, we're on SHA 256. In case you thought the Brexit deal was going to be bringing the UK into 2021, looks like you're going to have to go back a few decades to make sure that everything's compliant with this Brexit deal, okay? Netscape Communicator or nothing. Speaking of high-flying tech in the year 2020, turns out that you can fit Shrek on a floppy disk. This is credit to a Reddit user who used an X265 codec to compress the movie down to 120 by 96 pixels, and then also has the audio on it at 4 frames a second, and it's only 1.44 megabytes, and he used a Raspberry Pi to do a special VCR playing thing where you can actually watch Shrek like this. I'm not going to show it to you. There's a link in the video description in case you want to watch his video on Reddit about it, but sometimes when life hands you lemons, you make Shrekinade. And I'm going to make myself on out of here. Don't forget to check out today's video sponsor, Chirp, at the link in the video description. Stretch your back, my friends. And in case you care, it's now FSA and HSA approved. and stretch your days beyond 2020 so that you can survive until 2021. Goodbye.